Hello friends, Coach Bob with you, and today we are going to be talking about the CANAM SPYDER in particular. Now, we're not going to be mentioning other trikes, although this could apply to trikes, but I'm specifically mentioning the CANAM SPYDER for a variety of reasons. Again, this may apply to all three-wheeled machines, but for the sake of this conversation, let's talk about the CANAM SPYDER. Is it safer than a two-wheeled vehicle? Haha. And is there any data out there to back up my findings? There is no data online that says this vehicle is safer than that vehicle as far as when you talk about a three-wheeler versus a two-wheeler. Not that I could find anyway. And trust me, I looked pretty extensively. But based on the data that I could find, I think that we can come to a clear-cut conclusion as to which vehicle is safer and why, and we're going to back that up on this episode. But before we get started, if you would take just a second, go right down there, click that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. I would appreciate it. We really could use the growth. All right, so let's talk a few statistics before we get going, because one of the things that I was asked about, what is the percentage of accidents based on young riders or riders with less experience would be a better way of putting that. More than half of accidents involved with motorcycle riders, those riders have been riding for less than 5 months. That's right, half of the accidents involve someone who's been riding for less than 5 months. Also, motorcycle riders that have past dirt riding experience are underrepresented in accidents because I believe they have learned to maneuver that motorcycle a lot better. And once again, as we have discussed in a previous episode, over half of all fatalities on motorcycles, alcohol was involved with the rider. But here we go. What makes the SPYDER different? What makes it so much better than a two-wheeler? Better, I don't know if that's the right word, but we'll say safer. That is definitely a right word. This is where I'm going to come to my conclusions as to how and why the SPYDER is safer. And by the way, it is. That is not even a debatable point. However, if you want to debate that, like that comment section up and we can talk about it, about why we feel one is safer than the other. I'm certainly open to that. So motorcycle accidents. How many involve 3 or more vehicles? 7.52%. Whether you're on a SPYDER or not, that isn't going to help you. 2 vehicles, that's you and another one. 52.61% of motorcycle accidents involve the motorcycle and a car. Here's the big number. This is why the SPYDER's safer. 39.87%. 39.87% involve the motorcycle. So 40% basically of all motorcycle accidents only involve a motorcycle. So why would that matter? Why would that make the SPYDER more safe? Well, here's why. Let's look at what makes a motorcycle accident occur. Now, I can't fix the stupid award, okay? The dummy award. Let's look at a couple of dummy awards.
Hey, this echo shit, my man. Hey, this echo shit, my man.
Yeah, what do you think of that? Isn't that nice? It takes all kinds, I'm telling you. Here's another one. Yep, people do it. So you can be dumb on a SPYDER, and I can't help you on that one. If you want to get on the tail of the dragon and come barreling around a turn in the wrong lane or running off the side of the road, I can't really help you on that one. That you're on your own on that. But let's talk about the majority of motorcycle accidents and what happens. The number one motorcycle accident out there on a track or off a track is a low side. A low side is where a motorcycle is coming into a turn, and as they're going around the turn, the wheels are out here, and all of a sudden the motorcycle washes out and you slide. That is the number one motorcycle accident. It happens entering the turn and exiting the turn. Entering the turn normally when your braking is not done properly, and exiting the turn when you full throttle up on the way out of the turn. We know as Spyder riders, a low side is an impossibility. It might not be an impossibility in a skateboard park, but it is an impossibility on the road. The Spyder cannot low side. It can't. It can't roll back into itself. It just can't do it. So therefore, the number one accident that makes motorcycle guys go down, two-wheel guys go down, is a low side, and we know you can't do that. So the number two motorcycle accident out there, will it impact the Spyder? And that is called a high side. Now, high side is where when the motorcycle comes, the rear end slides and then the back grabs, throwing the motorcycle up and catapulting the rider off into the distance or up into the sky. Once again, a high side, I won't say it's an impossibility, but the likelihood is so low that it's a virtual impossibility on the Spyder. High siding, as we saw earlier, a guy playing around in the leaves. Technically, that's kind of a high side, the way he flipped it over. But it really wasn't in the violent nature of what a high side is. You're just not going to experience that on a Can-Am Spyder. I don't believe you're going to. Is it scientifically, mathematically, geometrically possible? It is, but in reality land, I've come barreling around a turn so hot that the interior wheel was lifting up a little bit, and I never came close to high siding. So if you're pushing harder than that, well, I can tell you, you got bigger stones than I got. So the next thing is a tank slapper. Tank slappers occur when the front wheel of a motorcycle hits that ground or hits a bump or a spot in the road, and it starts that oscillation. And that oscillation occurs because of these gyroscopic forces of a two-wheeled motorcycle going down the road. That's why the Nikon is more safe than a standard two-wheeler, because that tank slapper possibility pretty much done away with. So tank slappers is another thing that on Spyders we don't have to worry about. Can we get a front end wobble? Could we get a blowout on a front tire that could throw us off the road? Could we flip after we go into a ditch? Those things can happen. However, mechanical failures cause a very, very low number of motorcycle accidents if your motorcycle is maintained just to a decent level. So the fourth way motorcycles get into accidents, and we're going to call this 4A and 4B. You could call it 4 and 5 if you want to, but the first is looping it while doing a wheelie. You're not going to do a wheelie on a Can-Am Spyder. That isn't going to happen. I don't care how good you are, you're not doing a wheelie. You might smoke that back tire up, that's cool and all that jazz, but the wheelie ain't going to happen, which means you're not going to loop it. By the way, looping is when you do a wheelie and it goes all the way back over and you end up with the bike on top of you or the bike washing out and you just sliding down the road. The other thing is when you grab, this is 4B, when you grab an excessive amount of handbrake, front brake on a two-wheeler, and it locks that front wheel up, or it creates that stoppie where the back tire comes up off the ground and sends you through the air. You'll get front end dive on a Can-Am when you really grab a handful of brake. You'll feel that dive, but doing a stoppie and flipping that thing over isn't going to happen. So is the Can-Am Spyder safer? Yes, it is, because we know that 39.87% of motorcycle accidents only involve the motorcycle. And of that 39.87%, they have these in common. Sometimes it's based on speed, sometimes it's based on irresponsible behavior, and again, that part of the equation we can't get rid of. However, we know that scientifically our chances are much, much lower. So again, be sure light up that comment section, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. You know I really appreciate it. The channel's growing, could be growing faster, and with your help, I know we're going to accomplish that mission. So as always, go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are definitely doing it wrong. Now I'll see you on the road real soon. You be safe out there.